freelancing can really feel just like a job, and it's really difficult to scale. So that's where one of the natural progression routes is to create an agency of your own. So if you're a freelance web developer, if you're creative, you do marketing, I mean, the list is endless now. But if you do any of those things, if you can figure out that service delivery and you can package it and deliver it through the help of a team, then you're geared up for building your own agency. I'm going to share in this video some of the mistakes that people make when they build an agency. I'm also going to share with you a great person that you can follow on Instagram if you are deciding to build an agency. And I'm going to share you a great example. But first, let's just have a look at the cons, because it sounds idyllic, but what does it look like in practice? Let's talk about this. Now, we kind of graduated from freelancing into building an agency in exactly the same way. And what I felt like is very quickly I had this pressure to pay people for this service. And my profit margin had gone down because from me doing the work to all of a sudden paying somebody else to do it, I was still charging, but I had to charge more to the client. So I became more expensive. I was then paying somebody else and I had this pressure, but I also felt very much like a go-between. You know, in the early days, clients will still come to you and you still say to them, hey, you know, if you've got something you want to share or want to ask, just feel free to email me anytime. You have that relationship with them and it's really hard to let go. So I spent a lot of time handling messages between client and freelancer, client and in-house developer. And then what you realize is that all of a sudden you're on holiday and you're checking your emails all the time. You're logging into systems when they say things aren't working or they can't see the system or they're getting an error message. And instead of passing it on to somebody else on your team because it's 7 p.m. at night and this feels like the right thing to do, you jump out with your laptop and start logging in and checking the system. Very quickly, you can find yourself living between Slack and email, passing messages back and forth, trying to go the extra mile because you kind of got the bandwidth and you want to make a great impression. And then you want to get more clients and you scale. And here's the mistake that many agency owners make, is that they go to scale and they increase their client base, but they still haven't got the systems. They haven't got the customer support. They haven't got the workflow. And I'll be honest with you, most of running an agency, yes, there is the product, but most of running the agency is about how you process all of that. So if workflows and project management tools and all of that client onboarding and the process is your thing and you have that nailed, maybe you've worked in a tech department or you've worked in a marketing agency department before and you know the process, then this is going to be a lot easier for you. Build the process, funnel the clients, and you're away. But then you need to increase your headcount or your freelancers, and you've all of a sudden got a bigger overhead. You've got more clients coming in, so your revenue's sky high, and you'll see this with a lot of agencies. They'll report massive revenue numbers, but the profit margins will be a lot smaller because your overheads are. So it's a real mindset shift from freelancer to building a team that can deliver this. And most of what you'll find is you're either dealing with management issues on the team side or you're dealing with client expectations on the other side. So this is just letting you in for everything that you're going to see. But there are some people who were just made to deliver this. You know, I know somebody from Flamingo Marketing, Emma Sampson. You can check her out on LinkedIn. Emma is just born for helping businesses to create genuine personal brands and connections for leads. That's all she wants to do. Post-COVID, she wanted to help people get back onto their marketing. And that's what her agency does really, really well. So there are a few examples that you can look at. But first of all, let's just check that we've understood what the cons are, because we're going to get to the benefits. And there are many, but let's just make sure we're eyes wide open and we understand. It is possible for you to create an agency that is really stressful, has a really high overhead, and means you've always got to be switched on. You might be away on holiday with your kids and you might have to open your laptop or phone and start replying to clients. That's just the nature of this beast. It's never off, is it, an agency? The only other thing then to say is clients, as lovely as they are, can expect you to be always on and they want your energy. It's like, I've paid you, I rely on you, and therefore when I say what's going on, I need to know what's going on, even though it's not a project update, or maybe I didn't receive the last email from your team. And that can be really challenging. It can be draining if you have those sorts of clients, or you could have plenty of clients that are a dream and just work to the normal schedule and are quite happy with those updates. You know, we talked about this earlier on, the surprising thing about agencies. They can look so successful. You know, you can have lots of revenue. You can be having cars on lease deals and everything else with it that looks great on paper, but actually it can be a recipe for small profit margins, really close to the wire cash flow, and it can be a recipe for burnout behind the scenes. So go in this with your eyes wide open. But the good news is, if you were made for leadership, you love building a team, you love managing the process, you love managing the client expectations and making fast-paced decisions, you're going to love the agency life. It is so buzzing. Everything that you see in those sitcoms about people who work at agencies, that fast, oh, you're going to love it, because that's exactly what it's like. If you have an expert skill as well that you could do repeatedly for clients and deliver it through a team, then this is going to be great for you. It's a way that you can take everything you learned in your corporate or in your job and you can create something of your own, a real empire, because that's what agencies are great at, building empires. And then lastly, if you want something that is going to be totally scalable, but without it all being on you being the doer, then an agency is the right move for you. Okay, so I want to move on to some top mistakes that I see people make when they are creating an agency or service business. And I'm going to be honest with you, some top mistakes that I made. This one's a big one, and it sounds kind of counterintuitive, because when you first meet a client, you realize there's actually a lot you can do for them, not just the one thing that they first asked you about. So for me, it was a case of, okay, I want you to help me create my funnel. We'll do the funnel, we did the email marketing. Then let's do the digital course, and let's sort your landing page and then your website. And I felt that then, because I could offer those services, we did. And then we started doing video editing for the digital courses. So that very quickly turned into one service, and I'm now offering many. It was like a basket. Well, this ain't the Tesco Express, and that's not how you build a sustainable agency that's scalable. You have to offer one clear solution to one clear problem. If you can do that repeatedly, you can have a really good process. Sure, you can diversify and expand later, but initially, when the temptation is to be a do-it-all, you're actually a do-none of it, because you're not known for it, you're not specialist, and you can't grow and scale that one thing really well because you're too busy saying to your team, yeah, and on that client, can you just bob onto their website? They use Squarespace and do this. And your team are like, what do we do now? Even they're frustrated because they joined you because they wanted to do their thing. And that's kind of something to be really aware of. It sounds counterintuitive because you think, I do more services, I'm going to make more money. Reality is, it's at a massive overhead. Okay, mistake number 2, as an owner, personal brand agency, which is what most of you will probably build, you will be the bottleneck. You just will, because everyone will come to you, everyone wants to have a call with you, everyone wants to build a relationship with you, it's you they trust, it's you they buy into, and then you start saying things like I used to say, yeah, just drop me a note anytime you got any questions or any problems, just, yeah, WhatsApp me. So I get voice notes late at night, early in the morning, all through the day, telling me they can't log in, they can't check this, what do we do about that? Because they've just forgotten. It's not their thing. When really you need somebody in your team that owns the accountability, the relationship, and a process for those clients to get in touch properly. And that's the thing. Initially, you are so eager to please, you are so contactable, you're so available, and you're so trying to build up your portfolio that those same habits, you carry them on even when you've got 200 clients. And that's the craziness of it all. Okay, the third mistake, this is a big one that is going to see you fail very quickly. We all want more clients. Everyone wants more clients, more revenue, more profit, more work for everybody, right? But if you haven't got the processes and the systems in place to manage those clients, you're just a mess. They see a mess. No one knows who's answering anybody's queries. You're in Slack, you're in chat, you're on the phone, you're on WhatsApp. You're trying to figure out what's going on, and everybody's brassed off with you, including yourself. You feel chaotic. You feel like you're on a back foot all the time. And then you start buying into systems as an urgency, and you start paying agencies yourself because they promised you they could fix everything. But now you've got such a spaghetti pile of mess on your desk. You don't even know how to explain to somebody what you've got. Get your processes in order. If you're running an agency, it's all about the processes, and the product is the product, but the processes, that's what's going to make or break what you're building here. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 questions to answer to help you decide what sort of agency, or whether you should build an agency, whether it's part of your plan, escaping the 9 to 5. But before I do, if you are serious about building an agency, check out Mike Janda on Instagram. Honestly, the types of advice he will give you will just help you with some of the common pitfalls that we all make when we're starting to learn from clients and how to work with them really well. Okay, 2 questions. Number 1, is there a service that you have had experience and skills and knowledge of that you could deliver through building a team of people? And I guess off the back of that, do you even want to do that? And so long as all that's a yes, then you got a thumbs up on building an agency. Is there a service you build it through the delivery of other people? Question number 2. When you think about day-to-day life, working with your team, working with clients, dealing with their expectations, dealing with client team management, because that's a lot of what this is, and letting things flow, projects flow, but dealing with these 2 sides of the coin, does that fill you with that energy, that buzz? Or does that drain you? If you're looking for ways to make money outside of a traditional 9 to 5, then I have got a free workbook. It's underneath. It's got 10 different ways that you can make money outside of a job. And we're even doing an accompanying video to every single one of these. We've done freelancing, we've done consulting, we've done digital products. And psychology has proven that the more information you have at the start, the bigger of an overview you've got, the better the long-term decision that you're going to make with how to progress with the next season of your life. So go grab that for free. For now, I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.